Hello everyone. So thank you for all the support and everything which you are giving me all these days. And in my blog, I've just made a change that I've just turned it into a learning module. So if you want, just check out my blog for that and kindly give your suggestions below. And this is our topic today, that is the muscle tissue. So types of tissues. There are four main types of tissues, each with subtypes. They are epithelial tissue or epithelium, connective tissue, muscle tissue and nervous tissue. So today we are going to discuss about this muscle tissue. Already we have discussed about this epithelial tissue and connective tissue. This is the third topic, that's the muscle tissue. So muscle tissue, this tissue is able to contract and relax, providing the movement within the body. So for the movement of the body, the tissues need to be contracted and relaxed. So that is with the help of this muscle tissue, the body is able to do so many movements. So muscle contraction requires a blood supply that will provide sufficient oxygen, calcium and nutrients and remove the waste products. So any tissues that need some blood supply. So the blood supply which provides the muscle with the oxygen, calcium and nutrients, and it also removes the waste products. So there are three types of specialized contractive cells that are known as fibers. They are the skeletal muscle, smooth muscle and the cardiac muscle. So these are the specialized contractive cells which is being present in this muscle tissue. So the heart, which deals with the heart, is known as the cardiac muscle. The movement is known as skeletal muscle, and which is inside the body, that's the visceral organ which is present. That muscle is called as the smooth muscle. So skeletal muscle. This muscle moves the bone, that is the skeleton, and it is under voluntary conscious control. So voluntarily we know that what we are doing and it is our control. That is the movement of the bones, that is the skeletal muscle contraction. That movement is known as the voluntary conscious control. The diaphragm is made from this type of muscle and to accommodate a degree of voluntary control in breathing. So in breathing, that diaphragm is the one which is separating the respiratory tract and the digestive tract. Everyone knows about that, the anatomy. That is just a layer, a flap. So that is because of this skeletal muscle. So it's a flap-like thing which is separating the respiratory tract and the digestive tract. So that muscle, we know that it is voluntary control in breathing. That we are the one who decides how much amount of oxygen we need to take inside our body. So if you are taking a deep breath, just take it and see. If you are taking a deep breath, your lungs will be expanding. So at that time, this diaphragm will be pushed downwards. So when we are relaxed, when we are leaving out the carbon dioxide, our diaphragm will be moved above. So that is the diaphragm which helps in this muscle contraction. So it is under voluntary control. All the skeletal muscles are under voluntary control. We are the one who are responsible for our skeletal muscle contraction. These fibers are cylindrical, contain several nuclei and can be up to 35 centimeters long. Now where you can see the skeletal muscle which is cylindrical in shape and it is 35 centimeters long, and so many studs like things are present. Now that is the nuclei which is being present in the skeletal muscle. The skeletal muscle contraction is stimulated by motor nerve impulses originating in the brain or spinal cord, ending in neuromuscular junction. So when we are, how our muscle is being moved. So there is a main mechanism that is called the neuromuscular junction, which is the main thing which is helping in our skeletal muscle contraction. So the brain or the spinal cord, this is the spinal cord. So what is the spinal nerves? They are coming and this point is called as a neuromuscular junction. That is the nerve, neuro, and the muscle, that is the muscular. So neuromuscular junction, both are attached. So at this point, for example, when we are putting our hands in fire or something which is happening, so at that time automatically we'll remove our hand from the fire. So that is only because the spinal cord which gives the signal through the spinal nerve to the muscle that it is a danger, please take your hands out of it. So because of that impulse, we are moving our hands down. So that is called as the neuromuscular junction, which is helping our muscles which is helping the coordination of movements, and what we want to do is being decided by this neuromuscular junction, which is the attachment of this muscles and the nerves. So the skeletal muscle. So next one is the smooth muscle. Smooth muscle is also described as non-striated and visceral or involuntary. So the smooth muscle, non-striated means they have not everything is very smooth and no specific ridges or no specific form is meant for the smooth muscle. They are very plain and they have no specific ridges. So here in this we can see some ridges are there. So it's having a shape, a proper shape and something. But here in smooth muscle, it's non-striated and it is visceral and involuntary. Visceral means it's inside, we can't see that, and it is involuntary. Everything is muscles, we can't see it, but inside the organs it is being present. And the involuntary, it's not under our control. The digestion is not under our control. What is the mechanism which is happening in our small intestine, large intestine, esophagus, nothing is in our control. This is involuntary. But skeletal muscle, they are voluntary control. No, smooth muscle is involuntary. It does not have striations and not under conscious control. That is mean it's not having any striations and it is not under our control. Some smooth muscle have the ability to initiate its own contraction. Example, peristalsis. So here, the smooth muscle here has the ability to initiate its own contraction. Nothing need to be some smooth muscles, not all the smooth muscles. Some smooth muscle have the own ability to initiate this contraction. So that is called peristaltic. For example, that is the peristaltic movement. So the contraction is stimulated by autonomic nerve impulses, some hormones and local metabolites. Other smooth muscles are initiated. Some initiation need to be done. So that can be done by the autonomic nerves. So in our body, the nerves are divided into autonomic nerves and so many types. So in future we'll discuss about that. So autonomic nerves are being there and some hormones are there and local metabolites, everything is being there. So these are the ones which stimulate the contraction of this smooth muscle. But the peristaltic movement, it is able to initiate its own contraction without any stimulation. It is able to contract its own contraction. So the smooth muscle is only completely relaxed for short periods. So only for short periods when I think it may be during sleep, because nothing is being there, all the digestion part, everything is over. Sometime for short period, so the smooth muscle is able to relax. Other than that, it will be it is the one which is under involuntary control, so it can initiate whenever it is in want. The contraction of smooth muscle is slower and more sustained than skeletal muscle. So it is a very slow process. The digestion, we know how long it takes for digestion. It's very slow and sustained. Once the initiation is taking place, it's because of the slowness, the period of digestion will be more. It's sustained since it's taking for long period. It is the same thing which is happening in the first. It will be sustained for 2 or 3 years. The sustainability is more in this smooth muscle than the skeletal muscle. Because in skeletal muscle, we told no, this voluntary control. So we know how far to walk or how far to what we are doing is under voluntary control. But this smooth muscle, it's involuntary. So it is very slower and sustainable. So it is found in the walls of hollow organs. So where the hollow organs are being present, there we can see the smooth muscle, where regulating the diameter of the blood vessels of the respiratory tract. So respiratory tract, the trachea is a hollow organ, there we can see, and the blood vessels there. Propelling the contents, example the uterus, alimentary tract, the ducts and the glands. So here, so you can see this propelling the content from the stomach. From here, it need to be the esophagus. It need to come to the stomach. So how it is coming down? They can be in this esophagus itself, this food pipe itself. So due to this smooth muscle, some contraction is being taking place and it is being expelled into this stomach part. So in the stomach part, after digestion, it will be moved out into the intestines. So how it is moving through this smooth muscle contraction, it is being expelled. So that is the thing. Propelling of contents is being taking place in uterus, in alimentary tract and the ducts of the gland. So expelling the contents in urinary bladder also, the smooth muscle is being present. So when examined under a microscope, the cells are seen to be spindle shaped with only one central nucleus. So you can see a spindle shaped it is, and it's one central nucleus. The bundles of fibers form sheets of muscles which are found in the walls of above structure. So you can see here, It's like bundles, 2 or 3 smooth muscles, they join and they form a bundle-like structure, and this form the sheets of the muscle. So it is coming under the muscle tissue, no? So these bundles are joining together to form the muscle tissue, and which are found in the walls of the above structure. So wherever the smooth muscle is needed, it forms a bundle. So next, the last one is the cardiac muscle. So the muscles, we have seen about the skeletal muscle, smooth muscle. The last one is the cardiac muscle. This is found only in the heart wall. So it is found only in heart wall. It is not under conscious control. Everyone knows that the heart is not under our conscious control. Under microscope, cross strips, striations, characteristic of skeletal muscle can be seen. So here you can see striations. So many striations are being present. No lines are being present. So it is because it needs some movement is being taking place over there, and because of that the striations we can see in this skeletal muscle as well as the cardiac muscle. Each fiber cell has a nucleus and one or more branches. You can see here the nucleus is being present here, and the one or more branches, it is being divided into 2 or 1, so whatever may be. So the ends of the cell and their branches are in very close contact with the end and the branches of the adjacent cell. So you can see the two branches are being present, but they are closely attached to each other. That is what given. The ends of the cell and the branches are in very close contact with the end and the branches of the adjacent cell. So with the adjacent cells, they are being tightly packed. It is. Microscopically, these joints or intercalated discs appear as lines, and they are thicker and darker than the ordinary cross strips. So you can see that this is the intercalated disc. Two cardiac muscles are joined together to form this intercalated disc. When microscopically we are seeing, it is very thinner when we are seeing in this picture, but in microscopically it is very thick and darker than the ordinary cross strips. It is very darker. And when the heart contracts as a wave of contraction spreads from one cell to the cell across the intercalated disc, which means that the cardiac muscle fibers do not need to be stimulated individually. So here you can see, when you can imagine that this nucleus is being initiated. So from this, it has to be traveled from one to the other, no? So how it is happening is, because it is being jointed to the intercalated disc, when one is being initiated, it is passed on to the next, and that's how the cardiac muscle is being functioning. So now you can read, when the heart contracts as a wave of contraction, it happens through a wave. When one is initiated, automatically the other, all the cells are being initiated, which means that the cardiac muscle did not to be stimulated individually. No need to each of the individual cell need to not to be stimulated individually. Other than that, one is initiated, it is spread like a wave. The heart has a natural pacemaker system, that is the SA node, the sino-arterial node. Here it is being present, arterial node, which means that it beats in a coordinated manner without external nerve stimulation. In all the other things we saw that the external nerve stimulation is being present. See here the smooth muscle, it needs external nerve, autonomic nerve. So this is being attached. So in skeletal muscle, we need this nerve to be present, but in cardiac muscle, it needs no nerve stimulation, because there is sino-arterial node, that is the natural pacemaker of the heart. It is the one which initiates the pumping of the heart. It initiates one cell. So through one cell, it is being transported to all the parts of all the cells which is being present in the heart. Without any external nerve stimulation, the rate at which it beats by the autonomic nerve impulse, some hormones, local metabolites, and other substances. So the sino-arterial node initiates, but what is the what is the beat it should pump, and what is how fast it should pump. So none of the thing is being controlled by the sino-arterial node. It is being just initiating, but rest of the things are being monitored, being initiated by the autonomic nerve impulse, some hormones, local metabolites, and these other things. But the sino-arterial node is the one which initiates the cardiac muscle contraction. So this is the 3 types of the muscle tissue. So if you want these slides in Tamil, you can also watch my, I'm giving the link, you can watch through that. And in the nursing blog, just visit it and please pour your comments on it. And thank you so much. Okay, I'll see you in the next topic.